Abdel Ibrahim escaped North America by the skin of his teeth. The first part, fleeing the United States, had been surprisingly easy. After a near brush with death at the hands of a counterterrorism strike team in St. Louis, Ibrahim made it to the Canadian border at Detroit-Windsor without incident. The Nissan Sentra he had pre-staged at a storage unit 3 miles from the site of his attack waited for him, unmolested. The trunk was loaded with supplies, food, a change of clothes, basic medical essentials, and lots of fresh water. Most important of all was the fake Canadian passport that listed his name as Samuel Hassan, a sufficiently ethnic name as to match his appearance, but innocuous enough not to alert the prejudices of the border guards. The balance worked perfectly, and Ibrahim cleared the gate at Windsor without a snag. He made London, Ontario by nightfall and stopped at a ratty motel. He paid in cash. He watched the unfolding panic in the United States on the motel's outdated television set, then fell asleep with a Sig Sauer P320 at his side, loaded and chambered. He should have kept driving, denying his exhaustion and keeping the Sentra running all through the night, pushing straight through to Quebec. As it was, he departed the motel just before sunup, and the mistake almost cost him his life. The Americans had moved more quickly than he'd anticipated. The law enforcement arm of Washington swung into action even before the bodies were finished dropping, and the FBI coordinated immediately with authorities in Mexico and Canada. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police turned out to sweep the highways en masse. Every radio station carried bulletins concerning the missing terrorist. News websites and TV stations displayed his picture. The whole of North America was urged to be on the lookout for the FBI's most wanted man, and the Canadians in particular leaned into the hunt more aggressively than Ibrahim expected. Halfway through the 7.5-hour trek between London and Montreal, the traffic stops began. The Ontario Provincial Police pulled cars over at random, their blinking blue and red lights dotting the emergency lane of Highway 401 every couple of miles. With each passing cruiser, Ibrahim's blood pressure rose a little higher. He kept the cig pressed between his thigh and the Sentra's console, ready at any moment to resort to desperate measures. When an OPP cruiser pulled directly behind him and switched its lights on, his heart leapt into his throat. He placed a hand around the cig and kept driving, praying to Allah that the cruiser was coming for somebody other than him. As the cop closed in and other vehicles faded on all sides, Ibrahim knew his luck was up. But as with all things concerning the fate of humanity, the smallest of rocks tumbling down a hillside can change the course of history. In this case, that falling rock took the form of an idiot in a race-red Chevrolet Corvette, blowing past the cop as though the cruiser were in reverse. Ibrahim's blood pressure spiked again as the cop swerved into the left lane. The siren screamed to life. He laid on the gas and raced past Ibrahim in favor of the flashier prey. And the world's most wanted terrorist drove on. Ibrahim reached Montreal just after noon. He left the Sentra in a Provigo parking lot and walked the 2 miles to the port of Montreal, where the Liberian-flagged container ship Kartova rested at dock, just as she was supposed to. Ibrahim was admitted without question. The captain had already been paid. He found a berth concealed inside a shipping container, and the vessel set sail that same afternoon without a hitch, reaching the North Atlantic 36 hours later. Ibrahim never left his hidden berth. He lay awake on his cot, breathing silent prayers to Allah, imagining the terror he left behind, savoring the terror he had yet to bring. By the time Kartova made dock 23 days later, Ibrahim was refreshed. His body was strong, his mind razor-sharp. He was ready to unleash the next attack.